Ever since Thanos sat down to watch the sunrise on a grateful universe, the rest of us have been waiting impatiently to find out how our surviving Avengers might undo that fatal snap and restore our favorite heroes. Now that we have our first look at what we know as Avengers Endgame, we have even more questions. Mostly, who's going to come to Tony Stark's rescue? But before we take a look at who we think is going to save Tony Stark from his spaceship in Avengers Endgame, subscribe to CBR and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss any of our MCU videos. It'll almost be exactly a year after audiences saw Thanos snap half the universe out of existence. There have been a lot of theories about everything from the plot to what the movie would even be called. With the release of the first trailer for the fourth Avengers movie, Avengers Endgame, we at least have one answer. It turns out Doctor Strange was right. We're in the Endgame now. Like any good trailer though, it gave us plenty of answers, as well as a whole lot of questions. The biggest question that the trailer raised, however, revolves around fan favorite Iron Man and what's to become of him since his fight on Titan. The trailer opens with a solemn Tony Stark aboard the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, the Benatar. If you remember, the Milana was smashed in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was James Gunn who released a tweet stating that the new ship they were flying in Infinity War is called the Benatar. Get it? Pat Benatar, you know? On the Benatar, we see Tony Stark leaving a last message for the love of his life, the ever-suffering Pepper Potts. It's a heartfelt moment where Tony tells her that food and water ran out 4 days ago, and oxygen will run out in the morning. He tells her that his last thoughts will be of her, always her. Aww, grab the tissues, folks. While it's widely assumed that this will be the last appearance for more than one of the original Avengers, we don't think that Stark's end will come quietly drifting off into space all alone. When you put together what we know, there's one obvious solution. When we last left Stark, he had teamed up with Doctor Strange and the Guardians of the Galaxy to take on Thanos on his home turf. Thanos managed to get the Time Stone from Strange and then head to Wakanda to complete the gauntlet and snap half of all life out of existence. This left Stark alone on Titan with just Nebula, Gamora's rather single-minded sister. With the rest of the Guardians as well as Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, dust in the wind, Stark is on his own as far as getting back to Earth. We do get a clip of Nebula on board the Benatar, but we know that Nebula has a one-track mind. We first see her in a relentless attempt to get revenge on her sister for being Thanos' favorite, something she does for 2 movies before they tentatively reconcile. Then Nebula goes straight for Thanos to get her revenge. It's an attempt that doesn't go well. There's no reason to think she's given up getting revenge on her father and isn't likely to stick around to give old Shellhead a ride home. Without a Guardian around to fly him home or Doctor Strange's sling ring, Stark is left to figure out how to get home on his own, which doesn't appear to have worked out that great. Another option is Thor. One of Stormbreaker's powers is the ability to open the Bifrost Bridge, the way Asgardians travel from realm to realm. It's like Asgard's Uber, you know? So while Thor could bring Iron Man back to Earth by opening the Bifrost Bridge, it doesn't seem likely he'd even know where Stark was, much less that he'd need the ride back. With Thanos triumphant, Thor's likely to assume that Tony is one of the 50% of life that no longer exists. But with her own movie coming even sooner, we've now gotten 2 looks at the upcoming Captain Marvel movie. We know that Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, will play a big role in Endgame. From the trailers, we know that Danvers has been recruited by the Kree to fight the Kree Skull War, which has come to Earth, and that she doesn't plan on fighting the war, she intends to end it. Since the Captain Marvel movie takes place in the 90s, we assume that ending that war is what she's been doing this entire time. This means she's likely pretty deep into space herself when Fury sends his cosmic page for help. This means that Captain Marvel is Stark's best bet to rescue him from the fading Benatar. Stark was heading in that direction and more than likely has tried to make contact with Earth prior to leaving a message for Pepper, giving an opportunity for Danvers to find the wayward Avenger and pick him up on her intergalactic travels. There's another real-world reason to believe that Captain Marvel might rescue Stark. We know that Robert Downey Jr.'s multi-picture contract is running out. Captain Marvel is set to be the most powerful hero in the MCU and the key to the franchise going forward. So it stands to reason that there would be a passing of the torch moment between Danvers and Stark during Endgame. This might even be what Doctor Strange saw as necessary in the one future where they come out victorious. What better time to pass the proverbial torch than adrift in space on their way to undo the snap and make things right? Any number of things can happen, and we'll have to wait until next April to find out. Based on what we've seen so far, though, it looks like Captain Marvel is Tony Stark's best bet for getting home and delivering his message to Pepper Potts in person. What's your theory? Do you think it'll be Captain Marvel who rescues Stark or someone else? Let us know your best theory in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more MCU videos just like this one. Thanks for watching!